What's good everyone, it's Steve from SnkrTechTalk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the Nike Book 1 in this Cortez colorway. Alright, so really quickly, before we take a look at the shoes, I do want to take a look at the box that you are getting with this. It is kind of like a cream box with the brown hits. The one side says book right here. The size tag label does read Book 1, white, varsity red, and varsity blue. And then on the spine of the box, it's kind of like a book that you would put on a bookshelf. It says book signature model, and then it says book in orange again, chapter 1, because this is his first signature shoe. And then it does say 2023, so that's what you're getting as far as the box goes. All right, so right off the bat, obviously this colorway is a play on the white, varsity red, and varsity blue Nike Cortez from back in the day. Now I actually do have that pair. It is in the garage, stored away in a bin, up high, kind of out of sight and out of mind, as I don't wear Cortezes very often, but I will show a picture of what this shoe is inspired by. And there's a ton of really cool hits on the shoe where you just really get that vibe of the original Cortez here on the Nike Book 1. But as always, as far as the traction goes on this model right here, you are kind of getting that full-length herringbone traction pattern. On clean floors, these are elite. They have a bit of a squeak. The overall performance of this outsole is great on clean floors. Dirty floors, you will have to wipe every so often. One thing I really like about this outsole is the grooves are really deep, and the solid rubber outsole is pretty firm, to the point where I do think you could bring this outdoors. Now, if you don't know, a ton of 90s basketball shoes did have herringbone, and they were really built for in or outdoor use, and that's exactly what you're getting right here on the Nike Book 1 as far as the traction pattern goes. It's a tried and true pattern for the last 30 plus years from Nike, so I'm really enjoying what you're getting here. I do have a full performance review of the Nike Book 1 on my channel if you want to check that out, but I did kind of just want to go over this new colorway. But as far as the traction pattern goes, that is what you're getting with the full-length herringbone pattern. As far as the cushioning goes on this model right here, now the cushioning on the lateral side is just kind of more of like a rubberized feeling midsole right here. On the medial side, it is Cushlon. I don't believe if it's Cushlon 1 or 2.0, but that is what you're getting from basically this point right here all the way through the medial side of this midfoot, and kind of directly under your foot is a Cushlon midsole. It's pretty comfortable up front. You're not getting any Nike Zoom at the front of the shoe, but you are getting a massive Zoom airbag at the back. I believe it's 12 or 14 millimeters at the back of the Nike Book 1 for the Zoom airbag, so it's definitely comfortable at the heel. You get a ton of spring back at the back of the shoe. It's almost really mushy, so if you don't like that feeling, you might not like the Nike Book 1, but for me, kind of in my mid-30s, I love the cushioning at the back of the shoe. The stuff up front is just decent in my opinion. It's really nothing special, but overall, I do like the cushioning that they did use. I just wish they had even a small Zoom airbag up front. It would have added just that extra spring in your step, but as far as what you're getting at the back, it's pretty insane on how it feels. As far as the materials go here on this model right here, you are getting kind of a bunch of old school materials with all of these leather overlays right here, as you can see right at the toe box, and wrapping around the eye stay right here. And at the back of the shoe, you do have some synthetic leather hits. And then right here at the midfoot on the lateral and on the medial side, you are kind of getting this nylon material, which is definitely kind of a retro vibe. The only thing I don't like about this material is it will yellow over time, whereas the leather won't. The leather is honestly a very nice touch as far as kind of adding that premium feeling here on the Nike Book 1 in this Cortez colorway. So you're getting a ton of different materials, kind of those old school materials. And then on the tongue, you're getting more of that nylon here with this Nike logo here, the patch at the top in the white and the red. So overall, I really love the material usage. I know on a ton of other colorways, you've been getting like leathers, suedes, and nubuck. So I think this model right here, the Book 1, has been doing a very good job of kind of giving hoopers an old school vibe with those materials. And obviously the design itself is kind of an old school vibe for on-court and off-court use, and I really love what they're doing here with this colorway and some future colorways we'll talk about towards the end of the video. As far as the fit goes on the Nike Book 1, so I'm usually a size 10.5 in all of my Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour basketball shoes. In the Book 1, I do have to go up to a size 11 because at the back of the shoe, there's a ton of padding that does push your foot forward. And then the toe box is insanely tapered right here to the point where it kind of scrunches my toes up in a size 10.5, where my toe is kind of bashing the end of the shoe. In a US size 11, my toe is right near the end of the shoe still, and it is manageable once they break in. But keep in mind, I would try these on in store if you can, because the padding at the back is super thick. And then, like I said, the toe box is very tapered. But overall, once these break in, they're super comfortable with all the padding at the back. As far as the support goes on this model right here, as far as at the back of the shoe, you are getting an internal heel counter, which does a pretty good job of locking your foot in at the back of the shoe, coupled with all of that padding that I have mentioned a few times now. This is very sculpted and does a superb job of really locking your foot in at the back of the shoe as long as you have your proper size and fit. The same goes for the tongue, and the tongue is not gusseted, but it does have this loop right here where the laces do go through, so that does prevent your foot from sliding around at all. So that does prevent the tongue from sliding around at all. Here towards the bottom of the shoe, you do have some raw materials that when you really crank these laces down, it does a pretty good job of hugging your foot. And from all of my time that I've played in the Nike Book 1, I never had any issues where my foot was sliding over the side of the footbed. So that is one thing to note. At the bottom of the shoe, you do have a pretty flat and wide and stable base right here. One thing that this shoe is lacking compared to his PE pairs is an outrigger. It's very similar to the Nike LeBron 15s, where the general release pair didn't get the outrigger, and some people were having issues with the shoe being tippy. This shoe doesn't tip over at all in my opinion, but his PE pairs do have a little outrigger right here that the general release pairs did not get. But overall, it's a pretty supportive basketball shoe. I also believe there is a small outrigger right here at the midfoot. So this shoe is pretty supportive and has pretty good torsional rigidity in my opinion. I never really felt at all when I did play in the shoe that it wasn't supportive for me and my needs on court, kind of being a shooter and slasher. So I think you should be good to go whether you're a big or a smaller player here. I know a ton of people early on were ragging on the Nike Book 1's design, kind of just pulling the design cues from the Blazer and the Air Force One. I even myself was saying that, but once I got them in hand last year around All-Star Weekend and played in them and had my performance review in them, I did really like this shoe more and more. My only issue was as time went on, the colorways that they were bringing out, in my opinion, were super lazy and just kind of whatever, because his PE pairs on court were looking awesome, because this was one of them that he was playing in from Forrest Gump, the Nike Cortez, kind of the original colorway. So I was hoping that these came out, and here they are here in January of 2025. Another pair that they are planning on bringing out is the Moab colorway. Another inspiration from another shoe that they are slapping on this shoe. And I'm honestly not mad at what they're doing here in 2025 with the Nike Book 1. I know he had the shattered backboards. I think he even had a Chicago Jordan 1 colorway. So I'm really hoping that we get a ton of those colorways, because I think the execution on a new model, but kind of giving us that old school vibe with the materials and colorways, is superb from his model. I'm really not sure what they're planning on doing for his second signature shoe, because coming up here next month in February, it's already been a year since they have released this model. And if you did see the box, I do believe these were supposed to be released in 2023, because you can see right here, it says it right here on the box. They ended up releasing in February of 2024. And then obviously well into 2025, we are getting some new colorways, and I'm not mad at what they're doing with this new kind of old school and new school vibe here. But that's going to do it for today's video. As always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would really help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at SnkrTechTalk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. Stick around for the end of the video, as I will have a portion of me having these on foot. But as always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.
Yeah, look, I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I never life